Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show, where we help you make the wisest and most profitable decisions. My name is Dr. Gleb Tsipursky. I'm the CEO of the Disaster Avoidance Experts, the future of work consultancy that sponsors the Wise Decision Maker Show. And today with me is Britt Riley, who is the CEO and founder of the Haven Collection. And she'll tell us a little bit about the Haven Collection. So please go ahead, Britt.
Hi, I'm super happy to be with you on this show, helping with the important work that you're doing for sure. So I'm Britt Riley. I'm the CEO and founder of the Haven Collection. Haven is a network of high quality childcare spaces, which also provide workspace and fitness under one roof. We do this in order to remove barriers to productivity for parents. And as a result, we hope to improve the quality of life for every member of the family. So that's what we're working on. We've been around now since 2019, and yeah, it's been a wonderful journey so far.
So thank you, Britt. And can you tell me a little bit, so you've been around for a bit, can you tell me a little bit about how remote work, the rise of remote work with the pandemic has impacted childcare from your perspective?
So prior to COVID, we were already kind of starting to see the writing on the wall where technology was enabling families to work remote and to be able to have more flexibility. And really the biggest barrier for them was their employers enabling them to do so and being comfortable with that. What we saw happen with COVID was obviously, it was almost like a forced experiment, where across the board, everybody was home. And what we saw during that time is one of the big impetus. It's one of the big pieces that has allowed the childcare industry to start to evolve and to need to evolve. And that was every single person who is a parent of kids, of any age, but specifically from 0 to 5, which is a very challenging, period of time. They found themselves at home. They were working remote, many of them doing it for the very first time, setting up their offices in their houses and trying to share the care load with their partner basically trying to make it work. And what people realized during that time was remote work is phenomenal for many reasons. Quality of life is one of the big ones. Getting some of your time back is another one. But what parents realized during that time was they do need childcare. So while they can be remote and they can work, in a flexible and hybrid kind of capacity, without childcare, what they find is there's so many interruptions to their day, and there's not really much of an opportunity to provide flow, to really get into that. And so what it really did was it put a highlight on, one, the critical need for childcare, but then two, it really exemplified the need for the industry to evolve. So the childcare industry it's one which, just like the traditional 9 to 5, it also hasn't really evolved over the past 30, 40 years. So an industry which was created because more women were entering the workforce. It was created to support families who were becoming dual income households who both were working and needed childcare. The industry, for some reason, has not been, it hasn't been innovated in decades. And while it does serve a purpose, what we found over the past 5-10 years is there's a new generation of parents which is emerging, a generation of parents who they value their purpose, they value their lifestyle. They're all connected in a way which people have never been connected before. And so while there was one path that's been, kind of digging its way out for the past 20 years, which is this evolution in the traditional 9 to 5 towards more hybrid work arrangements, there's another one which has been, also been carved out, which is this generational experience where people are really focused more so than ever now on the finite nature of their time. And so what the remote work opportunity specifically for parents has allowed them not only the ability to decrease their shuffle, decrease the amount of time that they're spending going from work to whatever their personal needs are and childcare, and it's allowed them to decrease that kind of piece of it. But what it also has done is it's highlighted the need for a good some real structure in their childcare. So what we're seeing is people have to evolve, and the way that Haven has done that is we've incorporated the entire family. It doesn't mean that parents are working next to their kids. This is an environment which has structured separation, which allows parents to go to one place during the day. They know their kids are in great hands. They're able to go set up a workspace, set up a desk, go jump on a treadmill or a Peloton, have their meetings, get coffee, and they can look out over the playground and watch their kids having a great time during the day, which helps them. It removes their barriers to productivity. It allows them to take away any of that, you always hear mom guilt or that type of that notion. It really, that disperses, and in its place is a sense of, okay, I know they're good. I'm going to go and do my work. And so I think one of the greatest things that remote and hybrid work has done for childcare is it's allowed necessity to be the mother of invention again. It's not totally reinventing the wheel, it's innovating it. And that's what we're working on. And I know there's lots of other people who are doing the same thing and trying to help meet parents today where they need us to be.
Excellent. So I'm glad to hear about the innovation, and I've helped 23 companies by now transition to hybrid work and remote work. And definitely the question of how to support parents is a major one that we talk about as we're figuring out this transition. So tell me a little bit about what employers can do to support parents. Now, we do things like creating ERGs, employees resource groups for parents, and allowing them more flexibility. But tell me from your perspective, what can be done to support parents better?
Well, I think at the very beginning, at the start of it, I think that employers need to take a real good look at the what their demographic is, what their workforce looks like. I mean, the millennial generation and Gen Z are now making up the majority of the workforce, and they're also over 85% of the population who are currently having kids. So I think it's critical. It's critical to the infrastructure of our economy, without a doubt, for employers to take a serious look at their benefit package, take a serious look at their audience and the people who are running their companies on a day-to-day basis, and to meet them where they need them to be. That can be anything from, offering a care benefits which allow for backup care, partnering with a company to provide a childcare as a benefit as it comes to helping people find care, helping people find childcare centers, helping people navigate childcare deserts. Over half of the country lives in a childcare desert. So helping people with creative ways to be able to continue in the workforce without having to take breaks. One of the really big ones, and this is so important as it relates to transitioning into becoming a parent. I think one of the most important things that companies can do today is they can put a focus on the return to work plan for parents. This is both parents in a family, but helping them transition back in, because anybody who has had kids and knows that, your whole life changes, and it changed for the better, but also everything's kind of thrown on upside down for a bit, and you have to reshuffle everything and figure out, what your life looks like again. And I think that work employers, in order to retain their workforce, which every number shows us that being able to reduce your turnover is going to, in the long run, the investment you make in the child, in the parents and their ability to take care of their kids, is going to far outweigh the cost of turnover for them.
Yeah.
So providing care, providing resources, providing money, subsidies for even if it's, a few $100s a month or a quarter, the fact that people are really going to start to pay attention to the value that is put on parents being able to access childcare, it's going to go so far for them and for their ability to retain employees and to actually start to develop productivity. I think people creating access to resources like we are is going to be integral in employees becoming more comfortable with creating a flexible work opportunity for their employees. It'll allow them to be more confident in the productivity that's, being turned around. But it'll also save them in the long run so much as it relates to turnover and productivity.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, when we're thinking about what's going to happen with childcare as we are continuing with this hybrid work and remote work experiment, what's your prediction of what's the future going to look like in 5 years from now?
So it's a fascinating time right now. Right now, we're seeing so much of the world turn into, you see ChatGPT and AI and all sorts of technology kind of entering into industries, which, you kind of see that and you think, well, it's gonna be everywhere at some point in time. Well, no, there are certain industries like the childcare industry where that only goes so far. And it's not very far. You are always going to need humans to provide childcare. So over the next 5 years, what we're going to see is technology, and we're doing this with an app that we've begun creating, which it allows us to offer flexibility. It allows people to utilize technology in order to better provide childcare from a logistics standpoint. But at the end of the day, what we're going to see is there are going to be different models that are created. There's our model, which we're so proud to lead the way for, which allows people that physical support that they need. And I think really what you're going to see is there's going to be different versions. There's going to be small, medium, large, opportunities. There's in-home childcare. I think what we're going to see is there's going to be an evolution in the business model. And we're also going to see an evolution in the way that technology is utilized. But, we won't see technology taking care of kids, that's for sure. So it's going to be amazing. It's really, the past 6 years have been so exciting in the sense that there are so many changes which are happening, which are evolving the industry, and they are allowing it to kind of revitalize itself. And, we're only in the very, very, very early days of that. So 5 years from now, I think you're just going to see there's going to be a deep level of support for each human. There's also going to be a robust network of logistics and operational support, which is backing each of those providers.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Britt. This was very helpful. I really appreciate your contribution. All right. And thank you to the viewers for checking out another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you check this out and leave a review. It helps others discover the show, and it helps us improve the show. All right, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. In the meantime, the wisest and most profitable decisions to you, my friends.